Hello and good morning, all you Toronto Blue Jays fans, and welcome to the Jays Latest. I am your host, Craig Borden, and we're going to talk all things Toronto Blue Jays. And wow, do we get to talk something epic and legendary out today. Trey Yesavage, one of the brightest, youngest stars in Major League Baseball, going into yesterday's game. He was the 25th ranked prospect in all Major League Baseball, and he gets to make his Major League debut as a starter. Yesterday, 2 days ago actually, when they said they were going to call him up, I assumed it was going to be bullpen. Yesterday, obviously, I told you it was going to be a start today against the Tampa Bay Rays for the Toronto Blue Jays. And in the midst of this whole thing, we were like, oh, okay, great. Maybe he'll go out there and throw 40, 50 pitches and be, some level of remarkable, but not this kind of remarkable. He is, just proceeds to go to have one of the best pitching performances by a Major League Baseball debut for the Toronto Blue Jays in pitching history for the Blue Jays, and pitches 5 innings, 69 pitches, and meanwhile strikes out 9. Who does that? Oh, apparently Trey Yesavage, because in the midst of this whole thing, he just continued to dominate and dominate and dominate. That is the most strikeouts in an MLB debut by a Toronto Blue Jay in the history of the franchise. That list also includes Anthony Kay, Trent Thornton, Alek Manoah, who is currently on his rehab assignment, working his way back up to the Blue Jays as well, Matt Boyd, and Mark Zebchensky, if you recall those names. Also, notable mention to Paxton Schultz, who had 8, but it was in a bullpen. So, there you go. But on that note, it's just one of those things. Uno dos Trey, the 1 inning, he was just incredible. And the comparisons to Justin Verlander are only more telling watching his performance yesterday. It's the most tape I've seen on him. I've been trying to go see him when he was in Buffalo. Obviously, that's a very, very brief stint. But it looks like he's throwing a hammer or a tomahawk straight over. It's very, very cool to see that kind of an arm angle, and it is apparently the highest arm angle in all Major League Baseball after he made his debut yesterday. But after a rough first inning in which he allowed his first earned run, got his first strikeout and everything as well, but after working himself into trouble, Chandler Simpson scored on a double by Yandy Diaz, and that was the first earned run and only earned run of Trey Yesavage's debut. Just incredible stuff as the Blue Jays youngster ran through 5 innings, like I said, only allowing the 3 hits, 2 walks, 9 strikeouts, along with that 1 earned run. What a debut. It's going to be very interesting to see how he works himself into the playoff picture, because he is, if he's truly one of the best players that the Blue Jays could have on this lineup, we need to make sure that we are taking full advantage of that. So we'll see what happens. But anyways, other news before you just saw it behind me. Bo Bichette is seeking a second opinion, unfortunately, on his knee. We'll see where that goes. But at the end of the day, if we can even get him back to a DH spot, his bat is very, very, very important to this Toronto Blue Jays team. And defensively, we don't have any slouches that really hurt terribly at shortstop. We saw plenty of great things from Andres Gimenez playing shortstop yesterday. Ernie Clement playing second base has been a wonderful thing as well. And then you always have IKF that can play those positions, along with Addison Barger, actually was a shortstop, but I love watching him play third base. So the Blue Jays, infield defensively is not a problem without Bichette, but getting his bat in this lineup would be greatly appreciated. And the other bat that might be fighting him for some of those DH spots, Anthony Santander, is eventually going to be coming up as well, who is currently also finishing up a rehab start with the Buffalo Bisons. But their season is coming to an end very, very quickly. So, anyways, let's continue talking this game, because the Blue Jays ended up winning this one in another comeback fashion. But before we can talk comeback, we got to talk how the bullpen did an immaculate job during this game, because the Blue Jays bullpen, as you much are more than well aware of from watching this show and just watching the game, period, it has been a roller coaster ride for Toronto Blue Jays fans every morning, every evening, whatever it might be, when you check the box score, when you look through it and you see, hey, how did we lose that one? Or what happened here? That's those kind of pieces. But The bullpen yesterday, I cannot say enough good things about, and it was capped off by Braden Fisher picking up his 7th victory of the season and in incredible fashion. But we will get to him in just a moment. After Yesavage exited the game, Brandon Little comes in to take out that last inning because Yesavage did come out for the 6th. Promptly gave up his 3rd hit of the game after having a very long hitless streak. So it was very cool to see that he got an opportunity to come out and strike out a few more guys for the um, Blue Jays out there in Steinbrenner Field of all places. Brandon Little came in, pitched a scoreless inning. Sir Anthony Dominguez, scoreless inning. Louis Varland, scoreless inning. Jeff Hoffman, scoreless inning, and worked himself out of some trouble too. So, but then Brandon Fisher, oh my God, can he get any better as a youngster for this team? He's been just something to watch, and it's been some beautiful thing of you know, remarkable at this point for the Blue Jays to be able to have an arm like him just discovered. A 2.78 ERA, pitches 2 innings as the Blue Jays knocked this one down in the extra innings yesterday. He set the Blue Jays up in the top of the bottom of the 10th for them to be able to run with this in the bottom of the 11th. And so the Blue Jays score and win on a George Springer single in the 11th inning. The only 2 runs scored by the Blue Jays yesterday, and it was another comeback victory, and just was what it needed to be. Blue Jays put a cherry on top of a wonderful debut. It's the only thing that was like the only little extra would have been nice if those runs came just a little bit earlier, so Yesavage might have been able to get his first major league win, but I have a strange feeling he might get that one in the near future. So George Springer drove in the run in the 11th. Earlier, Andres Jimenez scored Ernie Clement for the first Toronto Blue Jays run on a sac fly. Nothing too crazy, nothing too sexy, but it works. That still spells victory. So, on that note, the Blue Jays obviously will be playing in Tampa again today at Steinbrenner Field in Clearwater, Florida. But they will be facing Ryan Pepiot, and Jose Barrios will be on the mound. Pepiot has been having a pretty good season for the Tampa Bay Rays. 163 innings, 3.59 ERA, and he has been unstoppable in his last 3 outings. Pepiot has only allowed 2 hits, no earned runs in 15 innings. It might be a long day in Tampa tonight. He hasn't even allowed a lot of walks. 3 runs is the most, or 3 walks is the most he's allowed in those outings, but no earned runs. Only 2 hits, as I mentioned. Ryan Pepiot has been on fire. Also, somebody that's been Mr. Consistent, Jose Barrios, the Lacmiquina, has been doing a very good job in his last outings, only allowing 2 runs or less. There's that one weird blip in Cincinnati where he's clearly not feeling well or whatever it was. Only go to 2 innings. His last out against Houston, threw 5 1/3, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, and a walk, 4 strikeouts. So that's the Jose Barrios we need down the stretch here. It's going to only spell good things and success for this Blue Jays ball club. And yeah, that's where we're at. But we are at that point where the Blue Jays are going to have to start making some decisions on what this playoff roster looks like. Hence the reason we have Trey Yesavage up with this team right now, because he is potentially one of the quote-unquote best arms this team can offer. Obviously, that was a wonderful compliment, even if he is that strikeout stuff out of the bullpen for the Blue Jays come playoffs. Magic number is 4 to make them clinch the playoffs. So either 4 wins or 4 Yankees and Red Sox losses. But the division is also in a very, very close proximity to that number. So let's talk Blue Jays. We'll see you tomorrow. Make sure you join us tomorrow. We're going to have our friends from Jays Journal on the Jaybird Watching podcast, and we'll see you tomorrow to talk all things Blue Jays. Cheers, everybody.